Episode 6 of HBO's 30 Coins was titled Holy War. While Father Vergara seeks refuge from Santoro in Serbia, he ventures into the dream world to contact Elena, who's eloped to Paris with Roque. Meanwhile, in Pedraza, marital tensions between Paco and Merc reach a boiling point, and the federal agents descend onto the town to take matters into their own hands. Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with my weekly recap, breakdown, and review of the latest episode of HBO's 30 Coins. We're talking episode 6, which was titled Holy War, which was definitely more of a setup episode for the last final 2 episodes of this season. Really excited to break it all down in this spoiler review, but before we dive into it, as you all can see on the screen now, make sure you all are following me on all my other social media accounts like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, which you can find those links in the description below. If you are new to the channel, welcome to this community. Consider subscribing, and while you're at it, hit the notification bell. That way you can get the alert from when I drop new content. It would mean a lot to me if you all can like and share this review. It not only helps out the channel, but I also appreciate all the support. And in the comments below, let's discuss this 6th episode titled Holy War. Let me know your pros, your cons, your thoughts of how this sets up the last 2 episodes of the season, and let's discuss your theories for episode 7. Let's have a great discussion about this episode in the comments below. So, as I do every single week, just giving you all my initial thoughts before I get into this recap here. If you saw my review last week of episode 5 titled The Double, I wasn't a big fan of the episode. You can see my review to see my reasons why, but very similar to how I felt about last week's episode. I do think this episode is a little more better in the storytelling, but I still don't think it's on par with the first 4 episodes of the season. I say that because, like I said last week, I feel like the characters have taken a step back. Ever since the coin was thrown into the dam, it seems like our characters have went kind of off course from the characteristics. I think of Elena. The last 2 episodes, now, don't get me wrong, the actress is very beautiful, but that wasn't why I loved the character Elena. I thought she was witty. I thought she was charming. I thought she had great screen presence. She would look in the face of danger, always seeking answers. But these last 2 episodes, she's been kind of relegated to just eye candy, right? The only memorable scenes she's gotten in the last 2 weeks have been sex scenes. And again, she's a very beautiful actress, but I just wish that we would get back to what made me love her as a character in the first 4 episodes. Same can be said about Paco. All the stuff with his wife, Merc, to me, I really don't care at this point, if I'm being honest, and we'll talk about it more in this breakdown. But then even transitioning to characters like Father Vergara, I get what the story's getting at, that he's losing his faith and all this stuff, but the detour of his story has been really kind of lackluster. So it's just the characters just haven't felt like the characters since episode 4. These last 2 weeks have just kind of, again, taken a step back from just what I loved about the show, what I loved about the characters. It's less about the first 4 episodes being these really integral stories, being creepy, being adventurous, being scary at times, and more so just kind of more setup, and just haven't really gotten much out of these last 2 episodes. I still love the show, don't get me wrong, but last week and this week has taken a step back in regards to the quality and has been lacking the entertainment factor that I've gotten from the first 4 episodes. But again, that's just my thoughts. I do have some positives to say about the show, this episode in particular, and we'll get into it here, but let me know you all's overall thoughts of this episode. Are you kind of on the same side? Can you kind of understand what I'm coming at in regards to the story, and these last 2 episodes haven't really been on a par with the 4 episodes? Or do you think these last 2 episodes have been fantastic? Let's discuss it in the comments. But let's get into this recap. As the episode opens up, we see Father Vergara is still in hiding. He takes the advice from Sandro. He goes to Serbia, and as Father Sandro told him, go to a place that is filled with pain and suffering, which we see that's a lot pain and suffering going on where he's at. We see Father Vergara sees himself on television as they deep-faced him to another person, as they said that they would last week. And we also see that he gets a call from Fabio posing as Elena. I was kind of confused. I know he has magical spells and all that, but I was confused on, first off, how was he able to get his phone number to have Elena's phone number and her picture pop up on Father Vergara's phone? Again, there's magic involved, so I just took that as like, sure, it's magic. He can do anything with magic, right? But nonetheless, we cut to catching up to Paco and his wife, Merc, and this is where we start to see the relationship starting to crumble apart. I mean, it's been that way since the very beginning of the show, but we see that Paco finally tells Merc that he doesn't want to be the mayor. He doesn't want to do this anymore. He's obviously distracted. He has feelings for Elena, as his wife clearly knows that, but she's able to pressure him to get on stage, and he kind of lets it out and tells everyone in town that he no longer wants to be the mayor. In between all that stuff going on, we get the 2 police women coming in from the Secretary of State Security, and they want to get answers. They want to figure out why has this small town that only has like 2 or 3 incidents a year now have 25 things going on in the last few months. So we see they talk to the local police officer. They first want to visit Jesus's house and see what he's up to. We go to his house and we get the conversation takes place. They want to see what Jesus is doing. They talk. We see the police officer talking to him, saying that you just have to stick to the story. Don't let them know anything about, Elena's husband coming back to life, Mario. Just tell them that you were upset about your daughter getting pregnant and you just had a gun and you were just venting. And he's just like, sure, I'll stick along with your story. As we kind of cut to, we see that he shoots himself in the head. Out of all the closures of these side characters, the Jesus moment of him killing himself really didn't do much for me. I mean, we didn't really see what happened with, Carmen and all that follow-up, and I assume that she did die from episode 1. We don't really know what happened with the girl that cut herself in the mouth. We know she had a successful surgery, but we don't get a closure from that. So I'm just wondering, like, why Jesus' story? Why do we have to kind of get a closure to his story? Because I thought it was kind of, if I'm being honest, it was kind of lackluster in my personal opinion. But as I digress, we go back to going back to Father Vergara, who's in Serbia. And at this point in the episode, he learns that the Pope has been under attack, that I think the Pope's still alive. He was stabbed, but I believe he's still alive. But either way, him being stabbed now allows Fabio to kind of come into the forefront and really kind of take charge. We learn that Fabio and his people, they now have all 29 coins. They just need one more coin to have full power. And then this is where we kind of get into the world of dreams, which we haven't heard of this kind of world of dreams for the first time in this entire show. Because I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it's a cool concept that they can haunt your dreams, but why haven't they been doing this since episode 1? Why haven't they been haunting the dreams of Father Vergara, Elena, Paco? Why haven't they been doing this since the first episode? Which brings me to something I mentioned weeks ago. Why hasn't Fabio just taken over Elena? Why haven't they possessed her and just made her give them the coin? I don't know why they have to do, obviously they have to make a show, but it's just like these logical things to me, like the world of dreams. Why is it now just being introduced to the audience? And when we get to the world of dreams, Father Vergara has to drug himself to go under. He goes back to the town where obviously it's a dream-like sequence, but he could see people in town. He finally comes upon finding Elena. I don't know how Elena was able to go to the world of dreams. Like, I don't know how this world of dreams works. And again, goes back to my criticisms for the last 2 weeks. They're throwing in these things. Again, it's a sci-fi show. It's a horror show. They don't have to explain every little detail. But I thought that what the first 4 episodes did was they gave us understanding of the world building. They kind of explained the lore. But these last few weeks, and particularly this dream world, how does it work? How is Elena able to communicate with Father Vergara? And how is she able to get into this world? It didn't make sense to me. As far as the aesthetics for the world, it was cool, I guess, aesthetically talking in regards to the production design. We see that they're in a maze. They end up getting split up somehow. We see Elena comes across Fabio. She falls on the ground, and all that stuff was cool. It doesn't explain how that was able to get them out of their dreams, but we see that she's now woken up, and she's waking up next to Roque. She's in the bed with him, which we'll talk about that scene here in a bit. But we cut back to Paco and his wife Merc having this fight, and them just kind of, again, it was kind of very melodramatic. If I'm being honest, I can care less about their relationship, because literally their relationship has been bad since we first met them. We've never seen them happy. It seems like they've just been forced to be together. We really don't understand what was it that made them fall in love. They have a brief conversation about they want to have happiness, but we haven't seen them happy. So them breaking up doesn't do anything for me as an audience member, because I haven't seen their relationship at its best. I've only seen it at its worst. So them get into a fight, really don't care. As we see, Paco is packing up his bags. He's calling Elena, and this goes back to Elena in these last few weeks. She's just been used as eye candy. As he's calling her, she's having sex with Roque, and we get all that scene. It's just like, she's very beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, I just want to go back to the Elena that was so fantastic in the first 4 episodes. Going back to Father Vergara, he's yet again captured by the people of Serbia for being an enemy and being against Allah and all that stuff. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but cut back to Elena, who's in Paris with Roque. They're eating dinner. They're happy. He's just like, oh, I've been waiting for this moment forever. We go to a old man being recruited. He has the necklace that's going to take him under the influence for they can get the coin. I'm not too sure how they were able to piece together that the coin was in Paris. I don't know if they had a informant or some spy. We all know that they have the tunnels and the mirrors. Maybe that's how they were able to find the coin. I really don't know how they were able to figure out that Roque had it. I'll just go with it for now. But either way, we see Roque as gifting the coin back to Elena. He's taking it as like she's gonna be happy. This is like fate. This is destiny. We're meant to be together. Obviously, she didn't like that the coin came back to her, because that kind of goes back to what her fake husband, the double, said, that the coin will find you, which it ultimately does. I like that moment there because it kind of ties back to the previous episode, which I wasn't a fan of. But either way, at this point, the old man finds them, goes in the restaurant, shoots the waiter, shoots Roque, which again, his death, Sandro's death last week, the way they've been handling the death of these characters have been very sloppy. That scene of him shooting the person, we get a security guard that comes in and he gets shot. He shoots the old man. He takes off the necklace and he dies. I thought that scene was very choppy and just the way that they kind of put that together was just not that well executed. At this point, Elena's upset that Roque's dead. Paco hears on the phone that Roque's dead. He's upset, obviously, while being questioned by the police, women, and all that stuff. But going back to Elena, the coin's under her shoe. She now has it in her possession again, which I'm hoping that, even though I know the coin has given her nothing but pain and sorrow and all that, but I'm hoping that now she has a coin, she's going to go back to the Elena that I liked in the first 4 episodes, but is now back in her possession. Cut back to Father Vergara, who again, he's captured by the people of Serbia. They tell him they're going to execute him the following day. Very religious parallels of he's going to be executed with 3 other people, which is very similar to the Bible. Jesus was, hanging on the cross with 2 other people. So we'll see what happens with that. And again, I get what they're doing with Father Vergara's story regarding him fighting against, like, I have to stay religious, I have to stay a father, I have to stay a priest, but he's fighting this because all he sees is sorrow. All he sees is the stuff that Fabio and all his people have been saying. So I get what they're doing with him, but I just don't think it's been executed well in regards to his story. It just seems like it's just dragging on and on. Same said with Paco, same goes with Elena, which I'll talk about at the end. But either way, we wrap up the episode with gossip women of the town are talking to Merc at this point, saying that Elena's in Paris, so you should dress sexy to get your husband back. You only have one chance. Again, I don't really care about that plot, but we wrap up the episode with the father again questioning his belief in God. He's going to be executed, and we'll see if he'll get executed. I doubt that they're going to kill him next week, but we'll see what comes of that and how he gets back into the town. But we wrap up the episode with Antonio screaming that he's coming, there's a new priest coming. The police women question him, and he tells them all the stuff that's been going on. Of course, they don't believe him. He sounds crazy saying all this stuff. But inevitably, the priest comes into town, and it's revealed to be the servant of the devil that we got from episode 4, which I kind of saw that coming. But we end the episode, and again, just overall thoughts. If there were some things that I did like about the episode, there wasn't really any supernatural stuff going on that we got from the previous episodes, which I think kind of hindered the entertainment factor for me at least. But we do get the tie back to the coin coming back to Elena, which again, I'm hoping that really brings back the character that I love and come to love. I hope that Paco and Merc, please get rid of that storyline. Just have Paco going to Paris or having Elena come back and have them do their thing. And the less of Merc, the better. It's not the actress. I just don't care about their relationship. And then when it comes to Father Vergara, if he's not executed next week, get him back into the town. Because again, I feel like ever since the coin was thrown in that dam and everyone's been split up, the quality of the show has kind of went down. The characters by themselves just hasn't worked for me. Them as like this team, especially Paco and Elena, and you throw in the father in the mix, that dynamic to me really is when the show is at its best. But now that they've been kind of split apart, the show has kind of shown lack of entertainment, lack of the scares, lack of a good cohesive story. It seems like things are rushed. It seems like scenes are being cut out. There's this missing, the pacing's been off. I still love this show, but the last 2 weeks have been a step back for me. But I'm hoping that next week we got the coin back. We got Elena. She's now done with her husband. She's done with Roque. She can just be the great character that she is and not just be eye candy. I hope that we get back to why I love this show. But again, that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you all thought of this latest episode. If you loved it, I love that you loved it. Let me know your pros of the episode. But if you see my criticisms, let's discuss that as well. But of course, let me know your thoughts, your theories, and your predictions for the weeks ahead. Let's have a great discussion about it. As always, thank you for watching this review. Make sure you like this video, share the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. already, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my other content. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Hope you're staying safe, and we'll see you in the next video.